Thanks for staying with us. As the national COVID-19 vaccination drive gains momentum, the taxi industry is vaccinating operators at a centre in Midrand, Johannesburg. Thousands of people have already been vaccinated at the SA Taxi building this month. SA Taxi, by the way, is an industry finance and insurance company and has partnered with the health department to roll out the shots to drivers who've not stopped working since the pandemic swept through the country last year. Maroba Maduma is Group Communications Executive at SA Taxi and joins us live from Johannesburg for an update on the campaign. Maroba, very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being on Newsfeed PM. I think by last weekend you'd managed to vaccinate just over 3,000 people. Where's that number standing now?
Good afternoon, Themebkile. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very privileged to be on the air, so thank you for that. By last week, we were just over 3,200. We are now just over 3,800. Of the vaccinated operators. Just to clarify, it's not just drivers. It's both drivers, operators, rank marshals, and anyone else that works within the taxi rank ecosystem.
And just on that, given the broad scope, let's look at the numbers. As I was reading, you've got about 200 vaccine doses every weekday. That's until December. What are you seeing as far as uptake? Are people coming forward in large numbers to get vaccinated?
So at the beginning, because obviously we still had to get the word out there, the numbers were quite slow. So we are playing a bit of catch up, but we are seeing an average of around 267. So as we're catching up from the other doses that we had coming in now. So we're definitely seeing a nice uptick. The word is starting to get around. The associations are starting to get through to their members. And the nice thing is we're starting to see associations coming in groups. So you've got the executive of the association coming with their members and leading by example.
Any plans then to expand this maybe nationally or to one or two other provinces if that's not happening already?
Excuse me, sir?
Any plans to roll this out in other provinces? Is it limited solely to Gauteng at this stage?
So at this stage, absolutely Gauteng. Only we are in conversations to see what else we can do, but it's taken us a while to just get the Gauteng Centre up and running. As you might have known, we, since last year, have been advocating, as I say, Taxi Foundation, with Santaco and with the NTA, for the taxi industry to be deemed the essential service provider. You rightly said, as you introed, that we have had taxi drivers operating since level 5 last year, and yet when it came to the rolling out of PPE, they weren't necessarily considered as essential service providers. So right now, we're privileged to actually have the Department of Health working with us to get the centre that's in Midrand up and running and to get the world-class service providers that we have in there to be working. And should we see that things are working well here and things are working all right, then we can continue conversations to see what else we can do around the country.
And as SA Taxi, you've got a closer view, don't you, of the state or the financial impact of the pandemic on the industry as a whole. What have been your observations on that score?
So, I mean, these are taxipreneurs, we call them. These are entrepreneurs that have had to operate at below capacity. The more people don't go to work, working from home, all the lockdowns that we experience, and obviously that means less commuters for the taxi operators and taxi drivers. So the impact on our book as I say taxi has been quite significant. We've seen the industry suffering a little bit from a numbers perspective, but it's a very resilient industry. And as we see more and more of the doors opening, then we see the guys actually operating more and more while trying to keep themselves, their families, and their commuters quite safe. So absolutely, there has been a great financial impact. I was looking now, the price of petrol is going to go up again quite soon. And that's obviously going to affect their operating costs, as you can imagine. So the impact has been very, very serious on the industry, but they're very resilient. And the guys have been operating as much as they can, and they've been getting people to and fro work while they can.
Maroba Maduma, Group Communications Executive at SA Taxi. Good to speak to you this afternoon, so thank you.